All right, well, welcome back, guys, to another episode of Sled Stories. Got a couple things we want to touch on here tonight.
Yeah.
We have our trusty notebook that we don't use the shared drive that we set up because I always just jot things down in my notebook. So
You like to write it down, and I like to put it in a shared drive, but whatever.
yeah, we got to consolidate all the topics.
Yes.
So a couple topics tonight. First is this awesome snowstorm that's coming.
We are on the eve of a banger of a storm that's coming in, and we've been long overdue, and this is going to be a big one for everyone in greater New England and Canada, and it's half the country, really.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's the first one. Next
Yeah.
one is kind of our recent trips to Wyoming and Colorado. I
Yep.
touched on that a little bit.
Absolutely.
Some brand deal shakeups happening in our camp. Touch on that, and then the last thing is kind of wrapping up some new sled stuff.
Future sleds, just
future
sled
stuff.
sled conversation.
Yeah, so that's kind of on the agenda tonight. So first one, like you said, a banger of a storm coming.
Banger.
And this storm goes from like New Mexico to Maine. It's
Yeah.
like you look at the chart, and
Yeah.
there was one funny meme I saw online of like it was like today's forecast, and it was a kindergarten printout of a United States, and it was just like a kid just colored
Just colored in all
just
the
colored
center of it.
crayon all over it, and it was like that's what it looks like when you watch the news.
The crazy thing is it is widespread, but the snow totals are consistent throughout almost the entire thing. Usually you see those like little pockets of like this might get 3 feet and this might
It's
almost
just like a bar.
everyone's getting at least 8 to 12. Everybody. Like
Yeah.
all of New England's going to get that, and then there's some areas that'll be localized that get a lot more, and like it's really freaking cold outside right now, like brutally cold. Today was a record low temperature-wise, which is crazy because usually you don't have that and then a big snowstorm, but it's like real feel -20 out right now, something like that.
Which is actually the reason why I think that they're not lying to us, or they're not gonna miss the mark on this one, because it is so cold,
Right.
and it's gonna stay cold after.
Correct.
Because that's what usually happens too. Usually there's a warm up when moisture comes. It warms up, and then all of a sudden we might get snow, and then after it leaves, sometimes it just gets warm, and then it's warm weather either comes before or after the storm.
And that's what happened. Obviously, you had we had some super good early season POW and riding and stuff, but then we got a couple of those warm up storms. We got some of those right around freezing, a little bit higher, bunch of rain, and like settled everything down. But like, hate to use the term good base, but it doesn't get better right now.
Yeah, no.
Like this storm on top of what we have everywhere is going to make it's setting us up for an epic February. So
Yeah, and like just down, like just coming from a Vermont perspective, we just looked earlier, we were having dinner, they just bumped us up again to like 8 to 16 for us, and that's just at, in town.
I mean,
so
the last
mountains are going to get 24 plus.
Oh yeah.
And then like Killington's, what did the guy say?
What did he use some funny term about like honey hole or something like that? Yeah.
Yeah, not pay dirt or glory or something. He used some name. He was like, right, and he was like pointing to like Okemo, Killington area.
Yeah, he's naming off the ski resorts because he knows that's what's up. That's where people really care about getting a lot of snow. And yeah, Killington's going to get easily 2 feet. Jay's going to get 1.5 to 2 feet. Like everywhere, it's awesome. So
yeah, so like that, a couple things like that is one of the number one things that it's just going to be cold, and the whole wet snow versus dry snow. It's funny because I was talking to someone about it the other day, and they didn't really like understand the wet versus dry snow thing. They're like, oh, like snow is snow. And
No,
it's like,
it is not.
No. Snow is not snow. Like it varies. Like the temperature definitely matters on whether it's going to stack up or not.
right. And they just showed that chart on the news. Same thing. It shows that at this temperature, this amount of precipitation equals this much snow. And at this super low temperature, it's just fluffier. It's airier because it's so friggin' cold out that it stacks up higher.
Exactly.
So it's the same amount of moisture, same precipitation, but the air temperature makes it totally different, which is like killer.
Yeah. And it's going to stay cold after, which is another big thing. It's going to stay cold.
Single
for
digits and
the whole
teens
week.
for like 10 days is what I saw, which
Yep.
is next week. I'm going to be riding a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, that might be a Colin
Bang out of work.
calling sick to work and be like, yeah, I mean, there's not going to be there's no question when people don't show up on. Well, actually, Tuesday's the day because Monday it's still going to be snowing. So
Yeah,
you
it's
never,
not stopping until like Tuesday at 1 a.m. or something like that. So
yeah, you never really want to like go during a storm. That's never much fun.
no, Riders on the Storm is not exactly the. I want to let it stack up and do its thing, and then we'll get after it. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's and kind of going into like riding in these cold temperatures. Like you were saying that there was a accident today in Pittsburgh.
yeah, so that just happened a couple hours ago, or we got the alert of it. There was a life flight, and then they canceled it, and then they called it another one. And I was just saying, no matter how significant, whether it's a really serious accident or even minor, or even you have a breakdown, like at this temperature, this negative. I think it's even colder up there. It's closer to -30 with the wind chill and everything. Like that is crazy dangerous. Like
Oh, it's
that is
yeah,
really, really dangerous because if you're not moving and not making warmth by riding or moving or walking, you could go into shock fast.
right, exactly. It depends on your crew you're with. If you're
Hmm.
God forbid you never ride alone, right? That's
Of
the number
course.
one thing. So
But some people do trail ride alone, of course.
and it's like you could not even have an injury. You could have a sled breakdown.
Yeah.
You could say you're riding with a buddy and you go up in these kind of temperatures, and one sled breaks down, and then you have to
You
like
climb over.
and you have to like tow, tow out or whatever, and then you blow a belt in the other sled. Then it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
you know,
We had this conversation with your dad when we were up at camp and it was really cold. And he's like, yeah, if you break down, what do you do? It's like, you just start walking slowly and steadily to keep your heart rate and to keep your body moving. And that's like, if you just stood there and waited for help or whatever the case is, or again, you were immobilized, you had broken something or
right, you broke your
whatever,
back or you broke your leg or something.
you would be in some real trouble for sure.
You'd be in
So,
trouble quick.
yeah.
You know.
But back to the snow thing too is like I'm sure you've seen it. We haven't been up this year, but like Gatsby just got smoked. Like
They just got smoked. Yeah.
they got so much snow. They're riding blower pow up there. And I don't know what this is doing to them, but like even if they don't get a whole lot of it, it's still staying cold.
Yeah.
It's still I saw Mount Gru looks good, Mount really good, Valin looks really good. Like everywhere is shaping up like crazy.
Did you see the temperatures in Gru?
I sure did.
I think today it was like -29.
Yeah.
No wind chill.
No wind chill.
Like just air temperature.
Yeah.
I'm like, my goodness.
And the
gracious.
wind up there on the top rips.
Yeah, that's a yeah. I'm gonna hang inside today.
I think we're gonna yeah.
I
Yeah.
think you're gonna hang inside today.
Yeah, let's just edit some videos and some stuff and we'll just lay low.
But yeah, like these kind of temperatures remind me of the time with Denny, like
Yeah.
probably 2012.
Yeah, probably a good 10 years ago.
Actually, it was
Chet
more-
made the joke today, actually, too. I was talking to him about like, oh, we should go to Rangeley.
Yeah,
But-
well, actually, it was more than that because I was on the Mountain Cat, and that was
Yep.
I got my pro climb in 2012, so this is probably like 2010.
Isn't that
Around-
Is that the same time you burn the hole through your grip and you're
Yeah.
like my hand's hot, my hand's really hot, and then it wasn't hot anymore, and you had a little ember, little lava, like right in the center of your grip. It just melted down, which
Yeah, I forget.
Stinks.
We were riding south of Pittsburgh,
yeah,
and Denny had to go all the way back to like West Stewartston,
yeah,
I think. And we were, sun was going down, and we were like, oh, you know what? You want to come back with us, or you want to go back? And he was far to
Real
go
far.
back to
yeah. He's down.
West Stewartston.
Yep.
And the temperature, the bottom just fell out.
Yeah.
And it got like, I mean, I think you had one story like that where you were coming across the lake, and it kind of did the same thing. Where
Oh yeah.
your whole day is like, okay, it's cold, but we're having fun, this and that. And then all of a sudden, the bottom falls out as soon as the
Yep.
sun goes down.
Yep.
And it's like, it like hits you. You're like,
We
it's getting
could-
really cold right now.
Yep, yep. We were actually riding in Maine. It was us and the Beatons, and Megan was with us, and we had a pretty good crew that day, Kroll and stuff, and like we were riding, and we knew it was going to get cold later, but like I swear to God, we came around a corner after coming out of the trees, and it's like someone opened the freezer door. It was like a punch in the face, and we were like, we're far,
Yeah.
like we're a solid hour plus of ripping trail. And half of us had to ride all the way back to our places. Some of us had trucks up there or whatever, but it was that
Yeah.
was
It's like a
one of
wake-up
the
call.
coldest I've ever been. Honestly,
Yeah.
it was so cold.
Yeah.
but-
It's like we were worried about Denny because he had to ride back, and obviously, like, he's riding by himself.
Yep.
And the bottom's falling out.
And he had
it's like,
his sled had 6,000 something miles on it. So like at that, no matter what you're riding at that age, who knows,
who
right?
knows? So that was a little tricky, but yeah, that was
crazy.
when my glove did that, and we were coming back, and I'm like, the hand warmers work great, right? So I'm like, I'm riding. I'm like, yeah, my hand's getting hot, like really hot. So I go, ow, and I pull my hand up, and like the grip, like the element in the grip was like arcing,
Yeah.
and just I looked down, there was a little ember, and the whole grip was starting to melt, and I'm like, oh crap, and then it burnt out eventually.
Yeah.
But like for that like 15 seconds, it got to be
Hmm.
like burning my glove,
And
and I
of course,
remember
it wasn't on a warm day that happens. It was a brutally cold day.
brutally cold. I remember
Yeah.
my old man had his like big leather, his old big
Yeah.
leather gloves he had, and
But they were iced up, though,
oh
weren't
yeah,
they? Yeah.
because remember we pulled up on him and he was pulled over on the side of the trail and he had his gloves on his pipe and he was
Yeah.
warming them up
Yeah.
and his those gloves and that's he didn't have any extra pair of gloves so he kept having to stop and
Which
like
which that method does work, but what it's doing is then melting the snow that then is just gonna the moisture then it's just gonna freeze it like it's a perpetual cycle.
right
It'll keep you from getting frostbite, of course, and if that's what saves your hands, then so be it. But
right
like,
at that stage it's like every couple miles stop rethaw
got to do what you got
stop
to do.
rethaw
Yeah.
but yeah those days are the when it gets the element of like uncontrollable danger
Yeah.
comes in
Well, when
with the
I
cold.
mean, and when I rode up to your camp was a couple weeks ago when I came up and Megan and I came up on the trail sleds and whatever. It's like that whole weekend was single digits and just below zero. And I don't care how goofy they look. I wore my gauntlets because like
They work.
they work.
Yeah.
They're doofy looking. I get it, but man, do they work to keep your hands warmer.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, so I'm definitely. I think everyone's on, bated breath on the next 24 hours to see what this thing actually does.
Yeah.
But
And we did some research because we were like, when's the last time we got a good one? And last year was a really good snow year, but we never got a big storm. We had a lot of little guys
8
that
inches
just
here and
that
there.
just kept stacking up and doing whatever. And we couldn't even remember. We had to look it up, and it was like January of 22 was the last time there was a widespread storm that dumped more than a foot over like multiple states.
Yeah.
So we're
Yeah.
due for one of these.
Oh yeah, because I was telling you earlier too. Like my daughter Liv is 8, and I don't think she's seen like a storm,
Right.
like a 2 foot like walk outside and go holy crap,
Holy crap.
where it's like
Yeah.
for her it's up to her waist or more, and like
Mhm.
I don't think she's ever seen one of those.
Yeah, which is awesome.
In 8 years, so it's checks out right. That'd be 20.
I don't wanna-
Maybe 2017, like because I remember when he was born,
Yeah.
that was the Vulcan storm
Oh yeah.
when we came out of the hospital, and with him, we got like the 24 or something inches.
Did they name this storm? I
don't
don't think
know.
they did. I don't remember
don't-
seeing it. Usually that's the first thing they do. It's winter storm, whatever, and they, publicize the hell out of it. But I didn't see anything like that, so maybe not.
Oh, they should get creative with that because we could.
Well, I think it's upon us. It's supposed to start tomorrow, so
Oh my God, like I was telling you earlier, I love the news interviews of people in the South. It just like I wait for that. I wait for the Southern interviews.
what was the guy that can't get no milk, can't get no bread, can't find no,
There was this-
chitlins or whatever?
Yeah, there was this guy from because it's the storm is so widespread. It's like hitting Louisiana when those people have no clue what's cold or snow, and like they're getting a lot of ice, which is really dangerous too. Like
A
they're
lot
gonna
of the
have-
southern states are getting a lot of ice, a lot of freezing rain and ice and stuff.
Yeah, so they interviewed this one guy, and he was outside of like a supermarket or whatever, and he's like, "Man, I came down here. I want to get some milk and some eggs and some bacon, and
Yeah.
the shelves are empty."
Yeah.
And it was just like, "Oh my God, that's so funny."
Oh, even here, which is crazy, is my wife went grocery shopping last night, just regular shopping. We're not storm prepping. We'll be fine. But she's like, I got the last package of chicken breast in the store without buying the crazy, super expensive, organic, whatever, just a regular pack of chicken breast. She goes, I got the last one,
Yeah.
and there was nothing. Like the meat section was blown out or wherever. I'm like, people obviously must be getting ready. What's the only thing that makes sense?
Yeah, it's got to be that, and it's yeah,
Which
Well,
isn't a bad thing. I'm not like hating on people for being prepared, but like, come on, it's New England. We're gonna get 1 to 2 feet of snow. Like it's not that big of a deal to me.
yeah, I think it's a lot of just the media, like the media hype and the media fear of like.
Oh, they do that?
You got to go stock up, and it's like you mean to tell me you have nothing in your house?
I
like people have like they have there's food. You go and get like your stuff for the week or whatever, but like
Exactly.
you have like the canned goods or you have
Right.
food in your house. It's like but I guess some
Maybe
people.
yeah, some don't. I guess
I need the bread, the
I
eggs,
mean-
and the milk,
eggs, milk, bread, and bacon.
and bacon, and bacon.
So yeah,
Um,
we're psyched. This is
Yeah.
this is great because again, we had a really good start to the year. We had that little bit of warm up, but we never lost all the snow. It always kind of stuck around, but it all settled down. It's in Vermont, trails haven't really been as great as they could be. New Hampshire's doing better. Maine's doing okay. Like So this is what we needed to
This
set
is
it up.
going to set up the whole New
This is
England
going to set it up.
for for good snow everywhere, which is just we talked about it before. It's not only exciting for people who are snowmobilers, skiers, snowboarders, but like it's good for the industry. It's good for every industry.
It's good for all of it.
It's good for guys who are plowing. It's good for like it's good for everything. Like
Snow is money.
snow is money,
Snow is money,
snow is money, and snow is fun.
especially ski resorts
know?
and stuff. And I did actually look up because our last podcast we talked about because Jay was #1 in the country for snow depth. They're now down to #3, which is still very respectable.
Yeah,
Given
the entire country.
given the entire country, I can't even remember. Alaska was #1, and I think maybe Alta or something else was #2. But I'm like, hell yeah, Jay, for hanging in there, right? Like that's
This is gonna help them out.
that's still really good. Now they're going to get 2 feet. I mean, they're going to be moving back up the chart, maybe back for #1. We'll see. So
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know where Killington's got to be up there too.
yeah, I
Killington's
don't.
got to be.
They were like 8 or 6 or 8 or something like that. So they're still in the fight for sure.
Yeah, if they get 2 feet plus, they'll be a contender.
You never know. They could be in that whatever the name the dude used on the news was. It could be localized 3 feet. Who knows? So
Right, exactly. Because he was saying about like the easter wind was gonna like just sit and spin on the backside of Killington and just like dump more snow on the.
it hits the Green Mountains and it gains speed because it picks up the moisture from the lakes and stuff like that, and then it just kind of stalls when it hits the mountain range like the Adirondacks and the Green Mountains, then the White Mountains, and that's what makes those big pockets of deep gnar.
Yeah.
Cannot wait. Cannot wait.
Yeah. Well, speaking of deep gnar, to transition to the next thing, what?
No?
Oh, I was just gonna say, trip out to Wyoming was pleasantly awesome.
Yeah.
Because I was worried because we were leaving pretty good snow here, and then obviously the west is not in a good spot like collectively for where they should be this time of year, and I was like, I don't know, it's not gonna be great, and then. We went and rode in outside of Afton. We rode Willow. We rode Strawberry. We rode Smoot and all those areas. And like Willow had awesome snow.
Yeah. Well, I was in Colorado about the same time. We both made our first yearly pilgrimage out west somewhere, and like I think we both hit it about as good as you could have timing wise, snow wise. You got a little bit better than I did, but I was on the tail end of the best. But like as of now. It's tough out there.
Yeah.
Colorado is a record low. What was the date? Since 1987. This is the lowest snowpack, period. Since 1987, as old as we are. So that's almost 40 years. And that sucks.
It sucks.
That sucks.
It sucks.
I mean, good for us. Good for us here, but.
Yeah, and you can tell that like the West was, is struggling a little bit because in the Willow parking lot, you couldn't park a moped in that parking lot.
Yep.
I mean, every square inch. If you didn't get there by 8:00,
you're done.
You weren't riding.
You ain't riding.
You weren't riding that area because it just couldn't park.
Right.
And just trailers and sleds, and it's like that tells you something. If the park lot is that full,
well,
that's
again,
where the snow is.
Even though you got really good snow, I had decent snow. Most of the areas in all of the West, I'm looking at a map right here, which certainly helps. You got your giant map of the U.S., but like people were traveling from everywhere because that was the only good stuff. So like normally that area wouldn't be so crazy, but it was. That's all people could get.
Yeah.
So it was. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we rode the last day we went down to Beaver Creek in Utah, and definitely the snow down there was much lower.
Yeah.
Much lower. Because I was telling you, too, that the Heavy D does his Snowden series, and it was supposed to be the weekend that we were staying in Beaver Creek, and he actually canceled because of the snow.
Yeah.
And then after we heard that, we're like, we see why. Because I think I hit 2 rocks in the first, hour we were riding, and it was just like, like, it was...
Even though we got it pretty decent, you were still playing roulette. The base isn't there what it needs to be out there yet.
Yeah.
Like, because the terrain out there is much different in the sense of like we have rocks, of course, but they're not these jagged, sharp rocks that like it's just more dangerous out there in that sense. And then obviously, unfortunately, you were not directly there, but there was a really serious avalanche where someone lost their life because the snowpack was, is what it is and is a dangerous spot. And it's like,
was. We saw a smaller slide in right outside of between Smoot and Willow.
Mm-hmm.
We saw a small slide that we think we triggered earlier in the day, but like real small. And then towards the end of the day, we were all kind of sitting in this little meadow, just kind of enjoying the sunshine, and we heard a chopper.
Yeah.
We're like, that's not a good sign.
Yeah. Someone's either really hurt or
So we heard
worse.
we heard a helicopter go like on the other side of the range, and then all of a sudden we just hear this sled just ripping towards us, and we're like, what the heck? What's this? And all of a sudden it was Andy Thomas was ripping down the trail, like right by us, like
Oh, no
by
kidding.
himself, just flew by us, and usually when a group comes by and everyone's sitting there, usually you stop and say hi or
Oh, hey,
whatever,
yeah, yeah.
like how's it going, and just flew down, and then we were putting two and two together, and we strongly believe that he was part of the search and rescue team. 'Cause
Yeah.
the slide was only 4 miles away from where we were
Right.
when we were stopped on that thing. So it had just happened. So he must have got a text or a SOS or something
Whatever.
to say search and rescue has been in active or initiated or whatever. Come to this location. So he was flying to go there, and yeah, it was the slide, the fatal slide was fairly big. But again, the scariest thing is that it was not that steep of a slope.
Yep. Doesn't have to
It
be.
wasn't like a big crazy slope. It looked like something that you would normally hit.
Yep.
And yeah, he was under like he was under 2 feet of debris,
Yep.
2 feet of snow.
That's all it takes.
And
Only takes a couple inches really to be buried, not have air or whatever, and it's
yeah. So that really put a sort of a dark cloud on the next day of riding.
Mm-hmm.
Was like that just happened. Like that didn't happen in far away or whatever. That was literally in the area.
Very close to where you were riding.
Yeah. So that was next day. We were all kind of like,
Yeah. So maybe that more mellow day in Utah wasn't so bad after all, right?
yeah. No,
Yeah.
it was still great. The snow was still the terrain was great. The snow was not as great, but yeah, it was like okay, we probably don't
Yeah.
need to go too crazy on this. But
Well, one of the things, like when I was riding in Colorado, was I talked to Dave after, and because we did that avalanche course with Matt Entz, the level 2 one, where we kind of like learned more about snow composition and stuff like that. And I have never ridden in hoarfrost. So hoar is that basically it's the moisture that's getting pulled up out of the snow and it freezes on top and it makes those like crystally looking things. Really cool to look at, kind of interesting to ride in, but is a incredibly dangerous layer for when more snow comes on top of it because it's not bound, it's not locked in. So you kind of need
yeah,
some
it's like
more
that sugary layer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so like I said to him, I'm like, shit, if the snow doesn't fall right, if you don't get the right amount of moisture and sun, and if you get a really big dump on top of that, the avalanche danger is going to be insane.
Right.
It's
There's
going to
a
be
lot of weight on that
Yeah.
sugar layer.
on that really bad, unstable layer. So it's like, there, unfortunately, nothing out there has any real snow for the next 10 days. Like I follow open snow and there ain't much coming. But if they get some other big dumps, avalanche danger is going to go through the roof.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, because they I guess had a crazy rainstorm during Christmas. I guess that like blanketed everything, and that was what they were saying in the avalanche report was when it slid, you could see the entire slab from when that Christmas storm. It was like rock solid underneath.
So
underneath 2 feet of
new snow just couldn't bond to it.
yeah.
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 So,
So yeah, definitely scary. Yeah, definitely not a situation that you want to be in.
no.
So,
No.
but we'll see.
But yeah, I don't know about you. I'm not going back out until conditions significantly improve.
well, now that we got a banger coming here, it's
Exactly. I don't want to leave anyway. I'd much rather ride here, of course. But usually, unfortunately, sometimes it's the other way around. But this year so far, but that's how it goes, right? It's cyclical. Like Revy has all the snow right now, and New England does, and the West in the United States doesn't have much at all.
yeah, I mean,
But
yeah.
it usually goes the other way. Like the last couple of years when out west has been crazy, we don't have quite as much snow. So we talked about it before, whether it's La Nina, Il Nino, whatever Nina it is.
Yeah,
It's in our favor right now. So we're gonna just be happy with that. So
yeah, and they're still warm. They're still warm out there.
yeah,
Like I mean, I say warm, but like you look at the map right now, and it's like where the storm is. They were talking. Houston was like 20 degrees the other day.
that's
There's
cold.
frost in Florida. Like
Yeah.
it's just the jet stream is just way down on this side of the country,
Yep.
and you can see it go right across the like Kansas area, and then the whole west is warm,
It's warm.
and it's like. Ugh.
Yeah.
Not
Yep.
so great for all the iguanas in Florida.
No, well. I don't think people will miss them all that much anyway. So,
Yeah.
So,
But another cool thing, we're back on the climb team.
we are. So
Had to do
we've. I know you did. Yeah. So we were Team Climb for. Had to look back. We were with Climb for 10 years.
Yeah.
When when Sled the East was just a puppy, we got on with them back in 2013, I think it was, and we were with them for a long time and very much enjoyed it. It's not like we had any personal reason to leave, but at that particular time, corporate structures changed. Polaris had bought Climb, their ambassador sort of support program changed. And, that's when Tubi really kind of approached us for the most part. Obviously, there was some back and forth and stuff, but, then that eventually, we all know what happened with Tubi, right? We don't got to beat a dead horse. And, so we got the opportunity to go back and we're back.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
And-
it's awesome because like, when we went over to Tubi, it was, it was the situation where like they're trying to grow the brand. They're trying to get, get a foothold and get, so that's why, our decision was to, okay, let's go with
Well,
Tubi.
it was definitely Tubi just had their foot on the gas, right? They were trying to grow the brand. They needed more presence in the East Coast. They knew about us and like, lots of conversations back and forth, but they were like the cool up and comers, right? And they really, nothing bad to say about them. They made a really good product. So does Climb. They never didn't. But, we just were kind of excited about that and to get on that train and ride it with them and help them grow. And we did. I feel like we did.
Yep.
I think we did a lot with them and they were really receptive to us and whatever. And then unfortunately the bottom fell out of Tubi, and
Yeah, it's just
it's the way it goes sometimes. Unfortunately, it's not that we like went, going back to Climb wasn't I don't know how to put this. It wasn't like, something we thought about like, oh, we don't want to do that or whatever, but we were like, we let the dust settle with Tubi for a good long while. Like realistically, we didn't have any outerwear sort of partnership for, I don't know, last 6 months, a year, right?
yeah, and honestly, like I mean, not that Tubi didn't meet the standard of quality and the standard of product, but like I missed Climb.
I did too.
I was like, man, like that. Is this a good decision to do this? And so.
Well, and I'll say that Climb has always had like the soup to nuts offerings. You can get yourself set up from head to toe, including stuff for your sled with Climb. And our hope was Tubi was going to get there.
Yeah.
As far as like balaclavas and socks and even first, like
Bags are a big thing.
everything that you would need. And Climb's obviously been doing that for 20 years, right? They make every single product you possibly could need to go snowmobiling.
Mm-hmm.
So to be able to have sort of a one-stop shop with them is just like, it makes sense.
Right.
So
Right, and that was another big thing is avalanche gear too. Like avalanche
Absolutely.
gear, like Climb's avalanche gear is awesome. Like
kicks ass.
like my new
It's an Atlas, right?
Yeah, but it's the Alpine E2, the
Yep.
electric system. It's
Yep.
awesome.
Yep.
Because I was out when I was in Utah the last day. We were coming down through, there's a goat path to get back to the main trail, and it's like this, right? It's a single track, and it's like, boulders, and it's a drainage going down, and there was a couple like high moguls, and I freaking grabbed my pole in my sleeve.
Oh, yeah?
Like when I'm going like this, and I'm like, it's like fighting me. I can't pull up. I'm like, what? I kind of like just jerked it, and then
Set it off.
My whole bag went out.
Yep.
And so the guys come down, like, what are you doing? And I'm like, oh, my sleeve pulled the thing, and you can just put it back together, recharge it, and you're good to go.
Which is awesome.
Which is
so if you have an accidental deployment
At 9:00 in the morning.
you can take 5 minutes. It's not like, well, my day's over. And, obviously you were riding in relatively high avalanche danger. Like if that was a regular old canister style, you're done. Unless you
done.
got another canister or another bag,
Yeah.
your day's over.
Yeah.
You're not riding. Now the
Yeah, I'll see you
technology
guys back
and
in the
it's
trailer. 'Cause
and
I'm
it's
not going to go out with that one.
it's
so.
lighter too.
Yeah.
The lightness is awesome.
Yeah.
So-
So I definitely like kudos for the electric system because, it's so much. It's like a peace of mind to know that
Yeah.
if you do deploy it, you're good.
Yeah. Yeah. And another, going back on the Tubi thing a lot is they really did make some really good quality stuff. But the one thing I really, really missed about Climb was their fit. A lot of the Tubi stuff had odd fit, right? Like slightly just the way it's cut because obviously they're a European company and a little more baggy and like some stuff was hard to get fit right? Climb stuff like if I order a medium, I know I'm getting a medium that's going to fit me kind of thing. Like I've never had to send anything back and be like, "Oh, this fits really odd." Like it's always
Except for
just
that one year, the second year of the lock saw. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do. That's right.
Because the first year of the lock saw, I had the gray one,
Yeah.
the very first one.
I did too,
It
and
was real thin,
Yep.
but it was awesome.
The fit was killer.
The fit was killer.
Yep.
Then I got the next one that I got. I mean, I ordered an XL, the same
Yep.
size as the old one, and I'm telling you, it was for Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah, you were
It
swimming
was
in
for
it.
an NBA forward.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it fit fine in the shoulders, but I'm telling you, the sleeves were a foot longer.
Yeah.
And the legs were a foot longer
Yeah.
than my legs. I'm like,
Yeah.
you'd have to be 7 foot tall
Yeah.
to fit in this. So like, something happened there with that run, but that was the one thing I had to send back. And I went back down to pants and bibs because I think I ordered a large.
And you couldn't bend
And
over.
I couldn't bend over. It
Yeah.
was pulling up my butt, and
Yeah.
I couldn't bend over. The sleeves were finally okay, but like it was. Yeah,
I think
so,
my theory on that is that first Loxa onesie was like so form fitting and like if you're we're both fit guys, right? If you're not, that you probably wouldn't have liked that piece of gear. So my guess is that they went a little bit they swung the pendulum a little too far the other way for the next season, like making it bigger and larger to try to please more people. And then I think they realize now because I've actually Phil's got one of the new Loxas and the Ripsa and like he's got some of the new gear and the fit is back like perfect. And obviously that was only the second year they ever made onesies, so like they were learning, you know.
Yeah.
So
actually, Will actually has the what do they call it? It's the Loxa 5.
Mm-hmm.
It's the gray one.
the
And
all gray.
It's the Vulcan material.
Yeah,
Some
it's
new
like
fabric they use.
It's kind of like I don't want to say burlappy, but it's got some texture to it, right?
It's kind of like ripstops.
yeah,
like
yeah,
this.
yeah.
But that thing is bulletproof.
Yeah.
Like I was like, he put it on and he was like, oh, check my new, and we're looking at it, and I'm going over, I'm like, giving it the once over, and like, man, it is like it's like a tarp,
Mm-hmm.
and it's
Gnarly.
it's not like that is not going to rip.
Yeah.
Like that is the strongest onesie I think I've ever touched.
Yeah.
And like the emblem is like it's got to be a half a pound of rubber.
Yeah,
The
it's
emblem is
super
like,
thick
it's
and
huge. I'm
beefy,
like, man, this thing is built like a tank.
which is what you want.
It's what you want if you're going
Yeah.
through branches and all kinds of stuff like that. I was surprised on how tough that thing is.
And the one thing I cannot wait to have back is leg zippers on the one pieces. And
Yeah,
Tubi, I'm sorry, you guys with no leg zipper. There's only one mono that they offered that had leg zippers. So what I mean by that is you start at the cuff and you can zip all the way up, so you can put your whole lower stuff on. Because I wear knee pads, boots. You can do all that stuff before you put the onesie on, which is doing it the other way. It's just kind of bass backwards, where you have to put the onesie on first, roll the legs up, and then do your stuff, which you had to do with Tubi, and I never cared for that.
Yeah.
And that was feedback we gave
so
them.
you fit your boots through the waist and everything?
No, I'm saying I put the onesie on and then pull the pants
yeah.
up so I have room to work.
Oh, okay. I thought
but
you were
it's like
putting boots on, then trying to get the boots.
no,
I'm like,
oh
what are
hell
you
no,
doing?
you couldn't. I don't even think it would fit. So like I can't wait to have that back because like
Yeah.
I want to take like when I don't know about you, when I'm getting dressed, I put all my first layers on. Then I like to get my boots and my knee pads. Like I want to get my first part of me all set and then actually put my outerwear on. Right?
Yeah.
So
yeah. My one Tubi one doesn't have the leg zippers, and it's a pain.
yeah, it's a pain in the butt.
It's a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
Especially at the end of the day when you're tired and just want your boots off, and you have
Yeah.
and they're all your bomb your things are all frozen, and then you gotta like kind
Mm-hmm.
of you gotta muscle them up to get your boots off, and then it's just like I just want to zip and then have
Yep.
it all off, and then
Yeah, and we both have those same Pastrana knee pads, which those are, there's a lot to that.
beefy.
Like I like to have the room to put them on like the way I want them. So we're we're happy to be back on the team for sure.
Yeah.
I'm real excited.
Yep. So yeah, that's an exciting thing.
Yeah. And another big partnership that we have in the works, which is there's gonna be some future podcast about that. We might actually talk to one of the engineers or whatever, but we have also partnered with Tempest goggles,
Yeah.
which Tempest is, I don't want to say they're new to the game. They're newer in the sense, but they used to be A-Bomb goggles. So A-Bomb was one of the first, and I had a pair of those. They were the first, I think the first, even before 509 came out with the heated goggles. They were the first integrated heated snowmobile and ski and snowboard goggle. And their kind of claim to fame is there's no battery pack. There's no cord. There's no nothing. It's all integrated and built into the frame of the thing. And this is something that they realized what they did wrong with A-Bomb, and then they turned it into Tempest. And we have sets coming to us. We don't even have our hands on them yet. I cannot wait. But apparently these are supposed to be the bomb. They're supposed to be the best thing on snow. So we are really excited to get our hands on those, try those, and, give some honest feedback, because I even said to them when we were talking, I was like, I don't know of really many other people on the East Coast that have them, and I don't say our fogging problems, but our moisture and our riding and the coldness, it's a different element than out west. Like, I don't know about you, I don't really fog out west ever, much at all, unless it's like a nuking snowstorm or really moist. Out here, it's easy to fog.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, we've had the 509 ignites for a while.
Yeah.
And they work, but again, the battery pack on the side is not great. You have the cord that comes into the frame.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's tiny little contacts that go into that little wire, and it's like all it takes is your hand to go up and take your helmet off and rip those little contacts.
Yep.
And the goggles are junk.
Yep.
And I don't like the battery pack hanging off the side
Nope.
of my head, and it's just
No, I've caught it on trees. I've pulled the cord out. And I know from like back, in our earlier off trail days when we had everybody had the pairs of 509s, the ignites. Some people had really good luck and had batteries that lasted all day. And I know like Nick Brand, for instance, he probably had 3 pairs of goggles, and all 3 battery packs were they wouldn't last more than a couple hours. Like, they seemed to be really hit or miss back then and stuff. So like, the idea of it all being, encompassed into one, magnetic lenses, quick change magnetic lenses, no hardware. Like, I'm psyched. I'm psyched.
Yeah, I'm psyched too. And the one thing I didn't like about the 509s, which I had 2 pairs of them, they both did it, was the heat made the inner lens warp.
That's right. You did have that. Yeah.
On both of my sets. And again, I'm using them how they're supposed to be used, but like, it must be a change in temperature or the heat gets too big, but like it literally like made the inner lens or the lens itself like a piece of bacon.
Yeah, it had a ripple through it.
On, so you literally driving it, and it's like you're riding, and it's like you have like drunk goggles on.
Yeah,
because you can't. It's like it's distorting your vision.
Of
and
course,
it's the most annoying thing in the world when you're like almost getting dizzy because you're looking through like
you're trying to focus through something you can't focus through.
Right. It's like wearing someone else's eyeglasses.
Yeah. Right.
Like So I was. But obviously in those kind of conditions, I'm like, all right, I'm going to wear my heated ones because
it's snowing out and I don't want to fog.
I don't want to bring 7 pairs of goggles. And,
right.
And then it's a pain. Like I want to bring 1 pair and maybe a second pair.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that these Tempest goggles are,
Tempest says they did a really good podcast with SledSend, but they said that 3 to 4 rides, all day rides without needing to charge them. Yeah. That is their claim to fame. So, like, even if you forget them or you're going for the weekend, you don't even have to worry about charging them, which, I don't know about you. I make sure everything's plugged in at night and, like, my stuff's all good to go. But, like, if they're saying that they'll go a couple rides, then that's pretty good. I don't think I could get 2 rides out of a 509, personally. I think it was probably one solid day is about what you could expect. So,
yeah. So I have an idea that I want to run across you.
Oh, boy.
That I haven't told you about yet.
Shoot.
So
you already hit me earlier this week with one. What's this one?
No, this is gonna require more insight from a manufacturer.
Okay.
So Jay, one of the guys that comes out riding with us out west, we were talking the other because obviously you have a problem, right? When everyone's done their day, you have a radio, goggles, speakers. You have
a beacon. You put batteries in
a
it.
beacon. You have a phone. You have most Avi bags need to be charged.
Yep.
So you have anywhere from 5 to 7 things that need to be charged, right?
Yep.
With only so many outlets.
Uh-huh.
In a trailer, in a house.
Uh-huh.
everyone listening knows when there's a bunch of guys in a house, there's only how many outlets, and everyone's got all these things to charge. So our idea was to have a backpack, right, where the backpack inside the backpack has its own internal charging system.
Okay, so
So listen,
kind of almost like a laptop, sort of like the
sort of.
laptop backpacks.
So hear me out.
Okay.
So say you have an Avi bag or a knack pack or from whatever you have, right? And like I have that Anchor battery pack that hits camp, right? So you could have one of those built into the backpack.
Yep.
Right. It adds weight, but you could take it out if you wanted to.
Right.
So you'd have a internal battery in there, and then you have multiple cords in the backpack, right? USB-Cs. You could add or disconnect as many as you want, right? So at the end of the day, you literally take your backpack, you plug in your goggles, you plug in everything you want in your backpack, and then you have one cord from the backpack to the wall.
Right.
So you charge the backpack is your charging spot.
Yep.
And everything's in your backpack charged. And then you have a battery pack in there, so when you unplug from the wall, you take all your stuff and you go for the day, but then if you need to charge anything out the day, you just plug it into your backpack. And the backpack is its own charging hub. And I'm like, someone's got to make that. That's got to happen. It isn't very difficult.
No.
Not at all. Obviously Avi bags are kind of heavy, but like if you had one of those Anchor backup battery packs, if that was charged, you could even charge your backpack up, and then the whole weekend you just charge all your stuff off of your backpack.
Yep.
End of the day, your backpack's in the corner. You plug everything into your backpack, and that's your spot.
Right. You could even make it easier in the sense that the battery pack doesn't need to live in the bag. You can either say, I'm going to charge everything through the battery pack that I plug in externally. That's where I was going with the laptop, because I have a laptop backpack that has a power brick built into the backpack.
Yeah.
And it has a USB that's hidden inside, so you can, the TSA is like, if you have the battery things, make sure you take them out. So you could do the same thing. So you can either, I got an outlet next to my bed, I'll plug it in. I don't need my battery pack. Or, those outlets are all full. I'll use my pack and charge up everything else.
Exactly.
So you could carry it if you want to. If you don't, that's fine too. But basically just make it so it's one plug. That's the simplicity of the idea. Yeah.
Yep. So the backpack has one plug in the bottom. There's a little zipper. Regular wall outlet, and then again you could have the battery pack in it, and if you don't want it for weight, take it out, leave it in.
Yep.
And if you for some reason couldn't get to an outlet at night, whatever, you'd probably have enough juice to charge everything, probably the whole weekend.
Sure.
You're not charging a laptop. You're not charging an Oxbow or anything. It's very small.
You're rarely running things all the way to death. Usually it just needs to be topped off, right?
Right. So you could essentially charge the backpack for the weekend, and it'd be good. And
yeah.
You could just charge all your shit in your backpack.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna pitch that to Klein and be like, hey, you gotta make this happen.
Well, again, we're Tempest goggles. They'll need to be charged. You got your Oxbow or BCA, whatever you run. You can have a GoPro if you do run an Avi pack. All these sort of things. There's 4 or 5
headphones.
Yeah, siphons for
sure. Have, Garmin InReach.
Yep.
You're gonna have, your cell
even
phone.
your cell phone. Yeah,
You're
even your phone,
everything.
whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. So inside the backpack, you could have a strip inside the backpack that has 10 USB ports.
Yep.
And it all has little dongles for all whatever
right.
you want to hook in, and you just.
Yep.
And everything's in the backpack.
Yeah, totally. I actually have, like, in my guest room of the house, I have...
Call it the Power Pack.
I bet you that's already been trademarked. I don't think that's original at all. Someone's probably thought of that. But like I was saying, in my guest room in my house, I have one of those cords that's one USB cord, but at the end it fans out to 5 different cords.
Yeah.
So whoever comes over, whatever you need to charge, you got it. iPhone, USB-C, USB Mini, Micro, all the, whatever the hell... Thankfully, everything is just about USB-C now, which is great. We're getting there slowly. But, yeah, to your point. Yeah. Versus bringing, because we've had this conversation about things to bring on a sled trip. What was one of my things? A power strip, a legitimate big power strip. And it's like, well, if you didn't have to bring that, that'd be cool.
Yeah, right.
Because it's just kind of cumbersome and yeah.
Yeah, go to any 1970s house in Gadsby, and there's 2 outlets in the entire house.
and a basement full of potatoes.
Yeah. Everyone knows what I'm talking about.
Yes. Yeah. No matter where
you share a house with 6 guys, and it's like, well, we got to take turns charging stuff because there's no outlets here, and yeah. So I'm.
Oh, I remember us in like one of the houses that Jonathan has. Like, I had my power strip plugged in. You plugged into my power strip that then has another cord running over here to the fan
this
and
is a fire hazard.
Oh my God! It's like on a Christmas Story where everything's plugged into one and it's sparking when you look at it. And
yeah.
You don't need that. So.
Yeah. So
Anything to make snowmobiling
someone's gonna steal my idea. I know it.
slightly easier.
I shouldn't have said anything.
No, you shouldn't have. You shouldn't have. But again, I bet you something similar already exists, like in the travel airport style
Oh,
backpack
I'm
sort
sure.
of
Yeah.
sort of realm, but change it for snowmobiling because I would say arguably more people have more things to charge when you go snowmobiling. Which what a crazy concept. If we had this conversation 10 years ago, we wouldn't be talking about any of this, would
Yeah.
we?
Because yeah,
You didn't charge anything. What are you bringing with you need to
a
charge
phone
for?
maybe.
Yeah, exactly. So,
But yeah, I mean, again, with even with Anchor, I mean, Anchor is their products are awesome. They have everything from a tiny little cube battery to like
power your whole house.
about your whole house.
Yeah.
So even if you could make a like design the battery to be like the contour of your lower back,
Sure.
right? Like so you think about your lower back and
Yeah,
think
yeah.
of a backpack when it goes on.
Yeah,
you.
it's
If
got to
you-
be comfortable.
If you made a battery that would like kind of
Hug.
curve to your lower back when you put it on, it's like right here.
Yeah.
Like you wouldn't even know it's there. I mean, again, it'd be a
No.
little bit of weight, but if you were concerned about that, you could take it out.
Right.
But you could still charge everything off one cord from the wall to your backpack.
Exactly, because the same power out from the battery would be the same power in from the wall. You just change cords.
Yeah, and the other thing is that it's happened to me a bunch of times is you're trying to charge things at night and your phone's in your room, your camera's downstairs.
That's the worst.
Your radio's in the trailer. And you're like the next day you're like, hey, that was charged there, that was plugged in here, and you got to get all your shit. Like if it was just in a backpack and you knew where that was.
I hate that. I want my stuff together so that when I get
Yeah.
up in the morning, I'm like, okay, yeah, that's all set. We're good to go. Like,
Right.
I hate where did I leave my GoPro?
Oh,
Where
yeah,
did I
that-
charge my whatever?
That's down in the bunk room on the left behind the
Yeah.
bed. I had to get
Oh, I had to unplug the microwave last night so I could
Yeah.
I could charge my whatever.
charge my goggles over there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so maybe one day
Snowmobiling
that'll
in the
be
21st century, huh?
maybe that'll be a Sled in the East investment. We could start making
Maybe.
backpacks.
Maybe.
That'll be cheap.
Yeah. Yeah.
That'll be cheap to start that. But
Yeah.
um,
The charging side of things wouldn't be so bad, but the building a backpack from scratch would be, obviously.
yeah. Building the backpack, it's not exactly easy to get that right
No.
and to get it good.
To get it good. Yeah.
You
Think
know,
of how long all these companies have been making them, right? It's wild.
it's not easy. So I don't think that's going to come on the horizon for
Yeah.
these. But
So I do recall when I talked to you before your last day in Wyoming, you're like, I was like, how's your cat doing? How's riding going or whatever? And you're like, dude, I think I need a turbo.
I didn't say I think. I said I need a turbo.
I was trying to be nice about it. But
No.
yeah, because you ride with everybody out there has turbos, right? They're
Yeah.
either on boosts or G5 turbos, G5
Yeah.
Summit turbos. And you're like, man, everyone's just throwing down bow ties and re-entries and this and that like it's nothing. And you're like, I'm trying like hell, and it's just without forced induction. Out there, especially here, is a very different story. Let's draw the line on the other side of the Mississippi.
It was.
And
Yeah.
then I made the point to you. I'm like, well, what do you do? Because you have your alpha, and obviously, catalyst is the thing now, and the catalyst is where you want to be. But like, do you get rid of the alpha, or do you turbo it, or do you? It's a slippery slope, man.
I know, dude. I know. Trust me. I had many conversations with myself out there, and yeah, it's just the sled does exactly what I need it to do, and I can go wherever I want to go, and I ride the shit out of it. But
and
at the
have a
end of the
great
day-
time.
At the end of the day, it's like it doesn't have the track speed. It just can't climb as high as a turbo sled. Out of like 14 sleds that were out there on a given day, I was one of 2 naturally aspirated
Yeah.
sleds. And it's like you can just tell it just doesn't have the
2 on an NA sled and also an older chassis, which, like, to your point, and we've had this conversation about the Catalyst, is like the Catalyst does things in an NA platform that the previous sleds never could do. So
no,
even
it's
if
just too
you,
heavy, it's just there's a lot of weight there.
yeah, and the suspension geometry and the attack angle and all that stuff's just all different, right? So it's like, even if you turboed your Alpha, it's like it's still. It would be better, no doubt about it. But is it gonna air out bow ties? I don't know.
No, it's still the weight's still you're adding more weight.
Yeah.
So
So
you're
it's
adding more weight to it. So yeah, I don't know. And then it's that age old conversation of like, do I want to spend the money to boost a older sled as far as like engine reliability? Like there's nothing worse than taking a perfectly good sled that runs just fine and then turboing it and then having an issue
And
and
maybe,
and then maybe blowing it up or whatever, and then you're left with a blown up sled that's
then worth
in
almost nothing. Yeah.
worse condition,
Yeah.
And the other part too, we were talking about it, like I don't want to be dealing with it.
No.
I don't want to put a turbo on out there and have to like worry about the tune is bad or my clutching
Right.
is messed up
This
or
isn't
whatever.
this
like,
isn't going to Pittsburgh for the weekend. This is flying across country, and this is like I do this once or twice a year, and I just want to ride. I don't want to screw around at all.
yeah, I don't want reliability issues and whatever. And then just putting a turbo on an older sled, I'm like, so.
I would say like if you could stumble across one on Marketplace, and it's like $1,200 or whatever. It's like well, yeah,
But still, I would want it here. Right?
yeah.
I'd want it here so I could tinker with it and test it and go out and do this. Like,
Yeah.
there's no time for that stuff.
No.
When you go out there, you land and then you drive and
You're pulling the rope and you're going.
Next morning, 7 a.m., you're riding.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no time to put a turbo kit on.
Right.
and like
and to mess around with tuning and
take my whole sled apart and put it on. Like, there's no time for that. It's like you're there for
Yep.
not much time, so it's
Yep.
it's time to ride, not time to.
So theoretically, if a boosted 858 came from the factory, though, this would be a different conversation.
It'd be a much different conversation.
Take
my money,
please,
please,
please, Thief River, you should have this.
Yes. Yeah. Well, that's going to be a future podcast in about a month. And when March rolls around,
Whenever the spring orders, there's
Yeah.
there's a lot of rumors right now. There's Polaris rumors. There's Skidoo rumors. There's There's a lot. There's a lot of changes that could come down the pipe here.
well, we got to save that for another.
Absolutely, we won't speculate.
Yeah,
but
we can't speculate.
No.
What we don't have to speculate on because it's a fact is that Big Ron got a new sled.
Your dad finally got a trail sled.
Finally.
Crossover, more of a trail sled, but like, that's a long time coming. Number one, he's got a house. He bought a house 2 years ago where he can ride from his house,
Yeah.
which he's never been able to. I mean, you guys could ride from your previous house, but it was a little more lawless, right?
Yeah.
Now he has an actual trail system that goes by his house, and he can ride from the house. And
Yeah,
I do that, and I'm like, Ron, you got to get on this. This is great.
You literally hear sleds. You can see sleds out on his driveway,
Yeah.
like zipping across the field. And you're
Yeah.
like, it's so. So yeah, he's giddy. He's
Yep.
so excited.
Yep.
And I'm just so happy for him because I was like, I had to have this is over the course of multiple years. I had to have the delicate conversation of like, you know what, Pop, like you're getting older, like
Mm-hmm.
you need certain things that are gonna make snowmobiling much more enjoyable for you.
Yep.
In this next chapter, right? Like electric start, huge, right?
Yep.
Like comfortability.
Yep.
Not that his other sled wasn't reliable. That
No.
sled always never had an issue with
No.
running. But just like
The modern conveniences and the big display with all the mat trails on it, and like just having the new chassis that's that much more comfortable. And again, he was on an M8, so that's a terrible trail sled.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Even just riding the trails to go get to the off trail, it's tough.
Yeah.
Anybody who's rode a mountain sled of any variety, they're not good trail sleds. And it's like now he's got a really good crossover that's going to be able to do both perfectly well.
Right. And I'm like, Pop, this sled is still going to be able to, you're still going to be able to rip logging roads, and
Yep.
you're still going to be able to, like, you see a line up and you want to go scream up there, you can still do all that,
Yep.
Pop. Like, again, super deep days, you might notice it, but
Yep.
like,
He's keeping the mountain sled anyway. The
But I'm like,
mountain
well-
sled's still around, so if that day happens, still got it.
but I told him that, and I go, Pop, even if there was banger snow, you're going to get on the old one and go, nah.
I don't know.
I want my new one. You're gonna
Yeah.
get so comfortable because I did that when I went out to ride my 21. I was like, I'm like, hey, old girl. Like, you
Yeah.
can just tell it's just
Ooh.
yeah. You're like, oof, and first couple rides, you're like, man, this thing is definitely not like the Catalyst.
Oh, yeah.
So he's gonna feel the same way when he's like, oh, I'm gonna take the MA out today. He's gonna get on and go, I want the Riot back.
I want the Catalyst back.
Yeah. So I'm super happy that he finally like pulled the trigger. And
Well-
then now beauty of a storm is coming, and it's like, aren't you glad you have the sled in the garage? He's now registered in Vermont. Like, he is just like full on.
He can
good to
literally just get out of work and be like, I'm going to go for a ride for an hour. And you can do that.
go. Yeah, and he's legal, and it's not, you're not.
Yes.
You don't have a loud exhaust. You're not.
Yep.
You're not riding dirty without a registration. Like, you're just. Sky's the limit, Pop.
You
Like,
can just just enjoy it and not worry about a thing,
Yeah,
and
like-
just it's yeah.
You can go out of your garage, Pop. You just turn the key and go.
And the beauty is, so we've almost had this same conversation about a year ago. We were this close.
I had money in my hand.
Someone had to deposit money in their hand. And what did I say to you? I was like, Ryan, you need to don't wait for him to say go. Like, you got to do it. And unfortunately, we waited, and he changed his mind. And then,
Yeah, we were at camp, and he walked out with $1,000.
he gave you $1,000
cash
because he's like, you just do it. Take care of it for me.
Here's the deposit. Spring order it. And I was like, oh, I'm on it. And then I literally went home like that day or the next day when like it was like March, obviously.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I get it all built online, and I'm like, Pop, give me a call. Let's do this.
Yeah, we're doing it.
I'm gonna run over with you, make sure this is what you want. And then he was like, well, I think I'm gonna
hold off.
I'm gonna hold off.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
you should have kept that money in escrow. You know what I mean? Like, so he couldn't have it.
Yeah.
Like, it had to be in a safe escrow account. So you'd be like, no, Pop, it's tied up. I'm sorry. You can't have it back. Like, until it's for spring orders only, and that's it. So, yeah, he got a Riot, 146?
146.
With a 175 or something?
175 Hurricane track on it.
Beautiful.
Yeah. And it is fast.
Oh, yeah.
It's so fast.
Trail sleds are fast, bro.
Oh, it's so fast.
My 9R is absurd. It's so fast.
Yeah. It's like, it's, again, like, mountain sleds are fast in this snap, but like getting on that thing, I rode it last weekend and just whipping through the trail up by his house there, and it's like you just crack it and it's like it just sticks to the trail and just goes. Yeah, and it's just
Unlike going into the corner on a mountain sled and just praying you can keep that inside ski on the ground, and like it's just it's different.
And he wasn't an alpha guy. He didn't want the rail. He didn't want the alpha rail. He was
don't blame him.
And I kept telling him, I go, because he was looking at my sled, and I'm like, Pop, I go, delicately as I can say, like, you don't need this sled anymore.
No,
like you're not going to be be in the woods with it. Like you're going to be on the trail.
No,
and the Riot is where you're going to live, and that's going to be the perfect sled for you. And he finally was. And he's like, oh, it's got a dual rail. And I'm like, oh yeah, it's got a dual rail. It's, so he was like, yep, that's
okay,
the one.
That's the one I want.
Yeah.
Well, I think even, we had the conversation before, but even Articat, they realized that too, that they probably scared some people away with the single rail. It's not for everybody. And now they're coming back, and obviously they never got rid of it completely for like trail applications and stuff, but now the crossovers and things like that, they're like, yeah, let's.
Well, no, the HCR now has dual rail.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
So they're mountain sled and
right.
dual rail now, which is interesting. So yeah. Going back to the rumor thing that we'll touch on when we actually know for a fact.
When we know a little bit more.
Like, I'm curious to see what they're going to do. If the alpha's going to be sticking around, if it's going to be boosted, if it's going to be, who knows? So,
they're going to do. Whether it's this year or not, they're going to do it at some point. They're going to boost a sled at some point. They have to, because if they're going to keep up with the other two, they know they got to do it, because this is what it is.
You just have to.
Here, it doesn't matter near as much, but out west, that's a big market. And even the Midwest guys that go out west, your Wisconsin, kind of like Michigan, Minnesota people, they want boosted stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, actually, it reminds me, I gotta order a new brake reservoir for my
oh yeah, that's right.
Alpha.
You cleaned that off, didn't you?
Yeah, totally did.
Yeah.
So
that was a TKI one.
Yep, sure was.
And broke it, right? But it broke the whole thing off, right? Shattered it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the TKI one, it's a great brake lever, but we ain't breaking that brake lever.
No,
it will not break.
No.
And
yeah, we had that conversation. I was like, that's why I kind of don't love the metal ones, only because I keep a spare flipper, a thumb throttle, and I keep a spare brake lever with me, because those two things easy enough to fix, but also easy to break. And it's like, I kind of want the weak link. I'm okay with it breaking. I'd rather it break than the reservoir. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just one of those things.
Yeah, I was going up through, like, we're climbing up, me and this other guy were climbing up through these like aspen trees, and there was like a blowdown or something, and it was real tight, and I'm going up through, and I hit the branch and didn't really notice it at first. Like, it wasn't that big of a hit or anything. It didn't stop me, so I just kept going up to the top where it kind of got treed in, and you had to like turn down. So I turned down, and it's pretty steep. So I turned down, and all of a sudden I'm like,
uh-oh.
And my heart sank, and I'm like, shit. Like, it did nothing to grab at all.
That was your last day, though?
That was the last day.
Oh, thankfully.
Yeah, so I'm like grabbing, I'm like, oh, shit. So I'm going downhill, and I'm like, so I had to like, spindle slide all the way down into the trees, and then get myself off the hill because I had no brakes.
Yeah.
And it didn't break the lever, just broke the attachment point where it pivots, and just broke that whole piece off. And I'm like, shit.
Yep. I clipped a stump when I was in Colorado on day 2 and put my almost my man parts, but more like my thigh into the bars and snapped the thumb throttle right off. Like broke it clean, like right down the middle. The U was still there, but the flat part was broken right off. And a couple people we were with were like, oh man, that's a day ender. And they're pulling out vice grips and whatever. And I was like, I got a spare one. They're like, you carry a spare? I'm like, I've broken this before. When you break something once, you're like, well, maybe I'll carry an extra one. So save the day.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, so hopefully, obviously once the snow comes, hopefully, my old man's been,
I told him I'm going to show up at his freaking house. I'm just going to show up on my trail sled because I could ride to his house. I told him I bet I could get to his house quicker on a sled than I could the truck because like the truck you can't get there from here because where we are they closed the notch and whatever. I'm like we're riding, like we're going to go riding.
Oh yeah.
So I'm going to be up his ass about it, and so to get out and ride even after work for an hour or something just to scratch the itch is great. It's something. So
Yep. Yeah, so I'm super excited, and he's going up for Parade of Lights too. So
did he end up finding a spot?
yeah,
you got a rental. Good,
Yeah,
good
yep.
for him. Awesome.
Yep. So
Parade of Lights is going to be awesome. I can't wait.
yeah, we'll keep our fingers crossed that it's gonna.
Cross anything. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be epic. So
Gonna.
yeah,
Cool. Well, I think that was kind of the.
that was kind of
That was the end of the. That was the end of the handwritten list.
yes, it was.
So, cool. Well, yeah, we got a couple more things lined up. So check back. We're gonna try to get a Tempest. Get the guys on the phone.
Yep.
To kind of talk a little bit about that tech because I'm really curious on how those are. It'd be nice to actually. I don't know. They'll be in our hands by the time we.
Oh,
ship that out.
they shipped. We should have them. I'm hoping we have them by the time we're riding this week. We should probably get them. Well, if it gets delayed or whatever, but Monday or Tuesday, I think they'll be here. So
Cool.
I'm psyched about those.
Yeah, because I want
And,
to it'd be nice to have them in our hand. That way we can kind of
play with them. And,
and kind of give them a little
yeah.
not give them anything, but just have them so we can see
Talk
and
about it,
exactly, see what we're talking about. So
Yeah. Well,
that'll be a good one.
I know one of the things that I'm really curious about that I told you about is there's a clear lens on the inside that's heated, and that's permanent. That doesn't come out of the goggle. That's the part that makes the heat, and that's a different type of plastic or whatever. So the other lenses that magnet on, we got, you can change the lens to whatever color you want, but the internal clear one stays there forever. It's not removable, and that's what makes it work. And I'm like, interesting. I just never even thought that would be a thing, but that's what they said worked. So we're gonna see. So
Super cool.
super cool.
Yeah, and then we'll definitely set one up for the model release.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
We're gonna have to do some more research for that podcast. So
Yeah, we sure will.
We're gonna be writing a lot of things down for.
Great. You mail that to my house so I can write on it next time. But
Yeah.
and ideally we're gonna have some more sled stories by then too. The snow's getting good, and we're gonna have some more riding, a lot more riding between now and then. So we should be breaking things and having fun and tearing it up and getting into it. So
yeah, cool. Well, we'll end it there.
sounds good.
All right, thanks guys.
Later.